Section 436. We're getting into the shorter sections now. Section 436 is a mandate for Federal Reserve banks to maintain digital treasury accounts. And so these digital treasury accounts would be the master accounts for all of their member banks, that member banks could pool their digital treasury dollars one master account. There are existing record keeping requirements, and subsections C and D clarify that existing reporting and record keeping requirements would apply to digital bank accounts as well. Section 436 does, and I think that concludes my testimony on that section. Thank you. Section 437, member banks may maintain pass-through accounts. We touched on this a little bit with the pass-through account is, I'll just read the definition. Means an account maintained by a member bank, non-member bank, the Postal Service, or credit union. A, whose unit of account is Federal Reserve notes. B, for the purpose of withdrawing the account holder's digital dollars and exchanging them for deposit in such an account. C, which is prominently branded in all account statements as pass-through Treasury account, U.S. Treasury accounts, maintained on the behalf of the U.S. Treasury. And D, provides account holders with reasonable protection against losses by fraud or security breaches. So basically, if you like your bank, you can keep it. You can link your bank account to your digital treasury account and just pull your $1,300 in treasury dollars right into your bank, as direct deposit. That's the purpose of a pass-through account. You don't have to utilize your digital treasury account if you don't want to. Important things to note, though, is that the unit of account for pass-through accounts is Federal Reserve notes. So your digital treasury account is digital treasury dollar bills, which then you can use to pay to anyone else who has a digital treasury account for free. If you bring those dollars down into your pass-through account, they're turned into Federal Reserve notes. And so then if you want to send them through the banking system, odds are you may have to pay fees, things like that. This section clarifies that banks may translate them back. They may push them back in the opposite direction if they want, but that's not necessarily guaranteed. If we think about this, we're limited to how many treasury dollar bills are in existence. And so if on the first day, when everybody gets some money in their account, Jeff Bezos wants to push $100 million into his digital treasury account and then, spend it without paying any fees, there will not be that many treasury dollar bills that he could exchange in that direction. This is the purpose of having the Federal Reserve banks and the member banks set up pooled accounts where they can maintain a reserve of treasury dollar bills to accommodate customers who want to turn their Federal Reserve notes into treasury dollar bills and push them back up into their digital treasury accounts. It's optional, and it depends on whether or not they are available. As time goes on, this will be less and less of an issue because they are limited. It's not possible to guarantee that exchange will always be possible. You can always exchange your treasury dollar bills for Federal Reserve notes, but going back the other way will depend on whether or not there is a supply of digital treasury dollar bills. So that's what pass-through accounts do. Again, it'll be like direct deposit for your existing bank account. So with that, I think that concludes my testimony for this section. Section 438 is almost identical to the last one, allowing non-member banks to offer pass-through accounts. These would be local banks, the Postal Service, credit unions, community banking institutions, and that are not tied to the Federal Reserve system. And so it gives people an option if they don't want to keep their digital dollars with a Federal Reserve bank, they can utilize credit unions and things like that. Saul Omarova, the former nominee for President Biden's former nominee for comptroller of the currency, she wrote in an October 2021 article about the People's Ledger, looking at how a central bank digital currency could work. And according to her article, She looked at Senator Brown's legislation, which is, again, is where a lot of this language comes from. She wrote that these community banking institutions would offer people a little more privacy protections that Federal Reserve System didn't offer. And so that's why there is this distinction between sections 437 and 438 between member banks and non-member banks. But other than that, their pass-through accounts would have the same obligations under either one. So with that, I think that concludes my testimony on section 438. Section 439 is just one sentence. Regulations. The Secretary and Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve System shall promulgate regulations carrying out this subtitle. That's it. And that concludes my testimony for section 439. I hope that helps explain how Treasury dollar bills will work with the universal basic income and how we can upgrade our banking system, our monetary system for the 21st century and make it work better for everyone.